Alright, welcome to CLOPIXEL Gamers. We are on the next game, so gumshoes, get ready. We are playing CSI Dark Motives. We may have to revisit case 3 before we hit case 4. This is a technical difficulty, but if this is your first time joining the channel, I would like to say welcome, and if you're new to the channel, definitely consider subscribing and supporting the channel. Without further ado, let's go ahead and get into the case. So we're gonna load up case 3, and I believe there's 5 cases in the game entirely. What we'll do, we're gonna complete out all the way up to case 5. Not tonight, but we'll see if we can finish case 3 and start case 4. Maybe the tail end of case 3. We'll see how much that was saved from the last game. All right. Let's go ahead and load Dig and Get. Hopefully they won't make us start it over. And yeah, so technical difficulty. So we're just going to run it one more time. And this is the only issue I've had with CSI Dark Motives is we might have to end up playing case 3 again, so that way it will transition over to case 4. No biggie. So if you already seen case 3 and you want to watch it again, that's fine. But we're going to be on case 3 transitioning into case 4. The cases can be long sometimes, but you know, hopefully it'll go pretty smooth, pretty quick. And if you have any questions about CSI Dark Motives, just let me know in the comment section. Shouldn't have these pop-ups. Okay. Go full screen. All right. Let's go to load game. We'll start with digging it, and we'll start the case over. And I will be rebroadcasting the stream on IG on both my gaming channel and also at CLOPIXEL on IG. So definitely, if you don't catch the full thing here, you can catch me over there on IG. All right. And it is Gumshoe Month, so, and the origin of that name is pretty interesting, where they get the name Gumshoe, but definitely look it up if you never heard why some detectives are called gumshoes. All right, we'll be starting in just a minute.
We have a multi-million-dollar construction site that has just been shut down, waiting for us. Seems the work crew out there turned over more than just dirt. Specifically, human remains. The bones may be ancient, making this a historic site. Or if not so ancient, a murder. Either way, we need to dig up the truth.
Okay.
Hey, Sarah Seidel. You're the new recruit tearing up the place, huh? Well, if what we have is old bones, we'll just have to be advisors. What do you say we head to the dig site and get our hands dirty?
Sounds good to me. Alright, dig site.
I've already made a quick background check of the history. There have been a few archaeological finds west and south of the site, southern Paiute Indians. We'll have to identify this as either a potential crime scene or a possible ancient burial ground.
I am Elliot Lansdowne, and I don't appreciate this inconvenience. You people are holding up construction and costing me dearly, every second. As a taxpayer, in all due respect, I'm asking you to move this along quickly, so my men can get back to it.
Hey, Mr. Taxpayer. I feel you, though.
Just over 2 years, but I've been buying up land for 15. It was obvious the city would keep growing, including in this direction.
Okay.
In the land development business, 2 years isn't long at all, especially when you have to assemble enough parcels to build a casino this size. Anyway, putting together 250 mil of other people's money isn't an overnight affair. I put on my share of dog and pony shows to raise that kind of capital.
Okay.
I went through a broker to acquire most of the parcels that make up this site. The owner of this one? Never had contact. Mine is a speculative business. Informed speculation, but speculation just the same. I buy from intermediaries who link buyers with sellers. And some of the people I deal with, frankly, are flim-flam artists who've latched onto worthless land to con commissions out of greedy, stupid buyers. But someone like me can take advantage of their shady nature and pick up diamonds in the rough. Like this parcel. Only the backhoe. My crew are an experienced bunch, and knew enough not to touch a thing. Second we uncovered the bones, the operator shut down and brought me in. I knew damn well we needed to call you people in. But what bothers me... See, we got a couple of Native Americans on our crew. Good men, hard workers, but they've been spouting off about ancient burial grounds, and... now I'm worried. Maybe this wasn't a diamond in the rough after all. More like a pig in a poke.
Yeah, because if it's a grave site...
Knock yourself out. Just do it fast, okay? I understand I got no choice in this. My land, but I got no say. Great. Just swell. So the sooner you people can deal with our skeletal friend, the sooner I can start putting this casino up. Remains were found over by that dig hole.
That's all we need right now.
Okay. Let's see... Remains are found over by the dig hole.
Here's the bones of contention. We'll need to make sure we carefully remove any dirt from these remains.
Okay. Carefully remove dirt. Collection of detection.
Part of an arm, right down to the hearty handshake.
Okay, what could I do? Can I take? Do I need to look closer?
Fingernails decayed a long time ago, but something survived. Tiny fiber of some kind.
Okay, we need to collect that. Alright, and can we take this? No. The other area that's important. I feel like it's cracked a bit there. Like a crack. It's not detecting. Alright, let's see. Back.
Forearm. Unfortunately, that backhoe appears to have done some damage unearthing our friend. But it's clearly a skull. Note the nick around the eye socket.
Note the nick around the eye socket.
A lot of damage, too bad. Because it may screw up checking dental records. I don't see any obvious dental work.
collection, powders, material deposits, maybe this, maybe this. Nope. Can I take it too? No. Alright, so it said observe the scar. Am I supposed to take those chip pieces? Collection.
Tiny broken glass fragments. Hey, don't assume that makes this a modern corpse. The Paiute dabbled in colored glass beads. But this fragment, it looks clear, so perhaps it is modern.
Okay. So perhaps it is modern. Alright, so is that everything from here? Nose, the mouth. There was nothing we could take from the mouth. Okay, it's not looking for that. Okay. Okay, nothing in the chest area or torso. Is there any other areas? There's an impression there. You have to look for what's obvious and then also
The soil looks a bit darker here, doesn't it?
Sure does. So do we...
Nothing for us there.
Okay, so a little bit darker. Maybe it's to take a sample.
Nothing there.
Not blood, but maybe. Non-polished shoe. The latent fingerprint. So maybe this.
Try using a similar tool.
It's darker in that area. Maybe this one. Yeah, there we go. All right. Okay. Let's look at some other areas. Pile of pallets over there. Looks like some kind of tracks. Porta potty.
A bird's nest. We probably shouldn't disturb it unless we have a reason to. Bad karma.
Is it really? What do we got? Something highlighted. Was it
Tire
tracks?
impression in the dried mud. I don't think the Paiute left this. Though, judging by the treads around edges, it's been here a while. A couple of years, maybe.
Anything else?
Something similar to that. Not my area of expertise, but could be an artifact. You know, more tribes than just the Paiute populated this region.
Okay, anything else? There's an impression left. Okay. Okay, excavation tool. We already checked the tires out. Tire tracks we already got. Alright, let's talk back to your boy.
Nothing else for you right now.
Okay, so we need to leave then. Let's go to the lab and see. Actually, let's go observe the body.
Something you want? Sure, I'll send a team out to retrieve it. All this blunt impact damage to the facial area, accompanied by some damage sustained to the cranial cavity, likely shutting down brain function almost immediately. We're talking about the face and head with a slim but heavy object. Repeated blows. In this state of damage, it's difficult to determine precisely, but an educated guess, based on the facial bone structure, makes it a human male, early 40s possibly. From remains like these with no other evidence available, difficult to impossible. Haven't finished my entire analysis, but the Vic's in an advanced state of decomposition, ruling out most tests I could run. Puts the time well beyond a few months, but it could be longer, possibly much longer.
It's amazing how they can tell what's from what.
Well, mitochondrial DNA for sure. Keeping a database of DNA records is a fairly recent practice. Depending on how long ago the victim lived and whether or not there'd been a reason to have his or her DNA cataloged, it may or may not be useful to you. Superficially, no, but the skull had a tiny hairline fracture on the occipital bone, which healed many years before death. Childhood injury or accident, maybe. I took a head x-ray. Sinus cavities are as unique as fingerprints. Some medical offices have been putting their archived x-ray records on an image-searchable database. If your victim is contemporary, you may be able to cross-reference it and maybe get an identity. Sinus cavities somewhat damaged, possibly from the weight of the backhoe.
Okay. Amazing how they can get all those details.
Damage to the mouth area was too severe. I looked for signs of dental work unsuccessfully. You know, some dentists have started embedding ID tags and chips within porcelain caps and fillings just for situations like these.
Did our Vic have an ID like that?
I'm afraid not, Sarah. I just mention it as a point of interest. You got it.
Let's take a look. And again, is there anything we can get from it? Yeah, it allowed us to zoom in. Okay, why would it allow us to zoom in on a picture? No, it wouldn't be on phone. Probably can't. Okay, what am I looking for? Alright. Hairline fracture. Alright, so I'm looking for something specific. There. Okay, I'll come back. Oh, the teeth. Nothing I could do with dental record. Okay. So, anything on the torso, anything on the hip, we'll come back to it. Alright. Alright, so let's go.
Hey,
Items.
it's chert, a hard, brittle form of silica. These sharp edges and points are likely man-made, though. If this is an arrowhead, you're looking at a historic site, no matter what else you might find out there.
Then we should bring in an archaeologist, for the site's sake, if not the Vic's. Still, learning about that patch of desert might help us reinterpret our evidence.
Such a small piece of glass, I can't really tell you much. Maybe the microscope will give you more than I can.
Hey, I've seen this before. It's from a contemporary eyeglass lens, a fragment of crown glass. Pattern of curvature indicates the owner had hyperopia, farsightedness, and used progressive bifocals. I'd estimate the spherical number at around 2.35 diopters. Definitely prescription, since grocery store reading glasses always come in 0.25 increments.
Good. Good information.
Being here to serve, I scanned the sinus x-ray into the computer, but that cranial cavity damage may make it tough to find a perfect match. Still, I've set up a simple search on the computer to compare the sinus x-ray to others on file for missing persons. That DNA's been amplified and graphed. It's in the computer. Scan that tread into the computer. Don't embarrass me with your praise. I had a comprehensive soil analysis run on the sample. The report found that based on the calcium, magnesium, and chloride levels, the soil immediately around the body was turned recently, relatively speaking. Best guess is between 1.5 and 2.3 years. At no added cost to you, I also had the electrolyte levels checked to see if our decomposing victim gave off any clues while taking the dust-to-dust trip. Came back clean, suggesting the victim was otherwise healthy at the time of death, except for the dying part.
So, we've got an approximate time for when the body was buried. 2 years. Doesn't confirm the age of the victim, but it's a start. A good one. Thanks, Greg.
It's a fiber of some sort. Definitely modern, some kind of synthetic. I'll prepare for the microscope.
Tread's too weathered for a definitive match to anything in the database. Best we'll get is a comparative match to another tread based on the predominant features of this one. Think any of these are a match? I'm not too sure. And jackpot. A positive ID on our victim, Freddie Sloan. He was in on some shady deals. Maybe running with the kind of people who would bury you in the desert.
Tattoo. That's everything checked that I can check right now. They check documents, evidence, and everything. Alright, well. Everything I can check right now. Soil sample, okay. I'm sure there's a way to enhance it. Okay, that's just the impression. So I can't do anything with that right now. But I can go to the detective.
What's up? Apart from the construction itself, nothing. But I can tell you the press is all over this mess. Nothing like some rolling bones to spark the media's imagination. That new casino has been hyped to the hilt, and that makes this little story way too big for my taste. Play your cards close to the vest on this one. I can make that happen. I'll just call the university, have them send somebody over to the site. Can't promise how fast, though. Not like these profs are sitting around waiting for our call. Hey, remember I told you this case was on the media's radar? Word's out, it's a modern-day Vic. Cranks are coming out of the woodwork, too. We just got a call from... Ready for this? Madame Lazora. Some self-professed psychic. Claims to be having visions about your pile of bones when it was still up walking around in a flesh suit. Says his name was Fast Eddie.
Captain, that's really close to one of our Vic's AKAs. Fast Freddy.
Maybe you want to check out this medium at large, then. If you can get onto her dance card between the local radio and TV interview she's granting, that is. Her parlor is near the southern end of the strip. Ran a background check already just to satisfy my curiosity. Came up empty.
Okay.
That I can manage easy enough. Looks like the same owner last couple of years. Our friend Lansdowne. Before that, one Adam Kilborn. Sold the land through a broker for a hefty amount. Might be worth talking to Kilborn, see if he remembers anything odd that may have gone down on that property. Mr. Kilborn resides in... Well, this is interesting for a guy who made a small bundle selling that piece of property a few years ago. Lives in a public housing complex. Vista Court, Unit 203.
Couple new locations. Okay, so let's go back to the site.
Nothing else for you right now.
Sorry, I should have introduced myself. I'm John Montana. I'm an archaeologist from the University of Western Nevada.
Sarah Crime Lab. This is my partner. Frankly, Mr. Montana, I didn't expect service this fast. We were told it was unlikely an expert like you could just drop everything and head out here.
I didn't have any classes today, and besides, the Paiute are my specialty. When I heard of human remains discovered out this way, well, I just had to dig in, so to speak. How can I help?
That's all we need right now.
Arrowheads of this type date the site to before 1640. Most likely Southern Paiute Indians, as I expected. Putting together that arrowhead with these ancient remains, I'd have to say this is a Paiute burial site. I doubt Native American activists will put up with a casino here.
What makes you think these remains are Native American?
The Paiute typically buried their dead in a location like this, with artifacts like that arrowhead. It's consistent with their practices and beliefs.
Okay, if we're looking at a Paiute site, why would a developer begin construction, or even buy a property without first having an expert assess it?
He probably wouldn't, but it's a big desert, Ms. Seidel, and as I understand, it took a backhoe to unearth these remains. Even experts make mistakes sometimes. Looking around, I'd have to say no, but a qualified no. See, I've evaluated scores of such sites over the years when an expert opinion's been needed. Still, had I been called, I can tell you I'd advise my client that this site is rife with red flags. It's a typical spot for Paiutes to settle. Well, I suppose anything's possible, but why on earth would anybody want to?
I'm gonna take a wild stab and say to hide a modern crime in the context of ancient artifacts.
Ms. Seidel, while your imagination is as admirable as it is fertile, I can give my expert opinion that this site is Paiute, with historical and religious significance.
Okay, that's all the questions for him.
Before I bought it, it was. Also, it was surveyed and cleared for large-scale construction, or so I was told. Shows you what an expert opinion is worth these days. If I'd known these kind of headaches had been waiting for me out there, I'd never bought the damn land. You know, historical sites are virtually worthless to a developer. What am I gonna do? Put up a casino museum? Now, I'm embarrassed to say, I don't. Wish I did. Moved into a bigger office around the time we bought this property. If you ever moved in your life, you know how it goes. Dump things into boxes, and it's like they fell into a black hole. Which is where the background of file on this property ended up, I'm afraid. Plus which, that real estate broker went out of business a while back. Moved out of state, I think. Not really. Bunch of junk, kind of stuff you run across anytime you clear land for construction. But there was enough to put a box of it together. My guys picked through it, probably took anything that was worth anything. But you're more than welcome to the leavings.
That's all we need right now.
Where's the box? Oh, right
Here's the junk box Mr. Lansdowne mentioned. Baseball bat. We can't use that here.
Anything else but the bat?
A watch. Kind that's right only twice a day.
What's in here? Nothing. Everything else highlighted.
I've said all there is to say for now.
Nothing else for you right now.
Okay. Outside the site. Look like it. Already. Oh, what's that? There's nothing. Tire treads. Okay, I guess we can leave here now.
Nothing else for you right now.
Let's go back to the lab.
Yes.
Pick evidence.
Burned bat. Must not have had any homers left in it. Okay, we got a broken watch, weather damaged. Was able to look up the brand, Rolston Precision Classic. Very distinctive band on that model.
So
It's a tiny piece of glass. You shouldn't dust for prints here. This won't give up any prints. Accelerant's fluorescent or UV light. Good find. Can't be sure what kind it is yet, though.
Clear, thin glass. Might want to do some microscopic work on it.
Looks as if our victim snagged a little fiber underneath his fingernail. In defense or desperation? Brown, quite thick, heavy cloth, like a covering or carpet. Glass fragment looks cleanly cleaved on one face. Perfect fit. I think we have a relic of a murder here. Question is, who stepped up to the plate?
I knew you were coming. My name is Madame Stella Lazora, and you must be the investigators.
We're with the police, that is the crime lab. We're working the site where the body was found, and if the media is to be believed, we understand you may have some insights to share.
I sense a certain skepticism, young lady. I take no offense. You are a woman of science, and whereas I am of the metaphysical, each, in its way, is a noble calling. Let us attempt to bridge those worlds. It is not so much a matter of knowing, but sensing. We do not control those on the other side. In the midst of a session with a client, seeking answers about a crossed-over loved one, a seemingly unrelated vision seized my consciousness. I saw a name. Eddie. Carved in flowing letters.
Is that right?
Yes. Then another. A variation. Fast Eddie. And then images. An eagle soaring. But then that eagle fell to earth, dying in the snow, with only the cold and pain to keep him company. And then this vision blurred, and another took form. A word carved delicately, as if in soapstone. Sloan. We encounter souls on many planes, from this physical world to the astral. But can we really say we know them? As I have said, I do not control the other side. I am but their conduit. If they wish to speak through me, they do. If they wish to instruct me, they do so. Often through visions which require interpretation. By victim, I believe you speak of Edward Sloan. More than this I cannot, at this time, say. This material world interests me not. Do what you like. I ask only that my belongings are left undisturbed, as they've been arranged precisely to help focus my psychic energies.
That's all we need right now.
Okay, let me see. Case file, suspects. We got saying 4 suspects. One we haven't seen or don't know. Okay, so let's see if we can actually see if it actually works.
You the cops? I wasn't making any noise. I don't care what these lousy neighbors say.
Actually, we're with the crime lab. Would you mind answering a few questions?
Listen, if it's about those parking tickets, I'll get to it when I can afford it, okay? Rent comes first, understand?
Okay, I'll probably stop here, being that we're in a good spot. So what I will do, if I can actually get there, is we're going to exit the game here, and we're actually going to pick the case back up in the morning, As I said, this is Gumshoe Month, and we're going to play detective games all for the rest of November. So if you're new, thank you for tuning in. If you're a regular member of the channel, thank you for supporting and subscribing to CLOPIXEL Gamers. And I'll catch you continuing this case on the next video. Peace.